Chicago Bulls preseason has started. Coby White gets the start. We get to see Patrick Williams actually be aggressive. And what has and hasn't changed is about the Chicago Bulls offense. Me and Pat are going to break it all down on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Bulls, a member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. Pat, let's go ahead and jump into the topics for today, man. Coby White got the start at point guard. You did a prediction show. You got that right. How did you feel about Coby White starting at point guard tonight for the Chicago?
Listen, Coby showing out a little bit. I'm not mad at what we saw from Coby White. I thought the aggression was on point. I thought how he came out and attacked the rim at times, took the open look at times, how he facilitated the basketball at times was enough to solidify in my mind that Coby should be the front runner for this point guard position. I expect through the next few games, right, to swap everybody else in and out of there. Billy Donovan's big on that, right? Like, Billy will go through the season and swap lineups. But I do expect Coby White to kind of be the front runner a little bit in this right now based on what we saw today, because the Bulls are all about development right now. We've talked about it with the staff that AK has added onto this team and some of the guys that they brought in to help with these younger players developing into bigger name players on this team. I think Coby White really did a good job today of just showing, hey, listen, at a minimum, I can come in, be the role player that you're looking for. At times, I can be the three-point shooter that you need. And you know what? I'm going to get us out on the break and run. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. Me and Ringo did a live call over on the Breeze today. And you almost forgot how fast Coby White is. Like, there were times where, like, he'd come off the pick and roll and have, like, Rolo on him or Brook on him. And he just blow right past him and get to the bucket. I'd be like, I almost forgot that he's, like, kind of elite with the speed on this. So yeah. I thought Coby White did a really good job to start off the game. Javon Carter was nice. Ayo was okay, but I wasn't losing my mind on either of them. I wasn't losing my mind on any of them realistically. I thought Coby White did the best job running the point guard spot, which is wild to say, seeing as how I think both of us have thought he's been kind of more of a shooting guard for most of his career.
Yeah, I mean, Coby White came in and played great. Like in both, like finding how to get his spots. I mean, he had the most shots of all the starters at 10 shots. He scores 14 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers in this game. The only starter with a positive plus minus. Yep. And Coby just understood how and when to pick a spot, how and when to push the pace, how and when to accelerate himself, right? We talked about the difference between speed and quickness, and he it seems like he's learning when to be quick versus when just to go all out with the speed. And that could be make him a dangerous guard, regardless of it's starting and coming off the bench. Now, I'm going to ask this because I know people are going to ask it, and it was a conversation over in my live post-game show over on Central. But how'd you feel the offense flowed, though, when Javon Carter was in it versus when Coby was in there running the offense?
You know what? I think it was a little bit more of a run and gun when Coby was in there, but you also have better players in there, right? Like, realistically speaking, I got Zach, I got DeMar, I got Vooch. Let's go. We're going to get out here. And I also have Coby White, right, who can take the ball to the bucket himself. I thought when Javon was in there, it was a little bit more of a slower pace, did some things with P. Will, but I like how they used the dynamic of P. Will and Vooch on the floor with Javon Carter, because you saw Javon Carter find himself in some really, really open positions to take some shots. Was able to go 1 for 3 from the 3-point line, 2 for 5 overall, right? Didn't take a ton of shots, but I really thought he did a good job of just involving himself early in the offense. And the one thing that I saw from Javon Carter was exactly what he said when he showed up, right? If the ball's in my hand and I'm open, I'm shooting. Javon Carter was not shy about jacking up the 3 ball. And hopefully he'll be able to kind of, get a little bit more consistent with that. as the season goes on and get back to those shooting percentages that we saw from him. But the fact that he's willing to take the shots, I think that's a very big thing from the Chicago Bulls overall today. And it's something that I hope sticks around.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of good things we're going to talk about later in the show, like overall what has changed versus what hasn't changed with this team. And if a lot of the things that they were talking about were things that we saw in this first this preseason game.
Yeah.
But Coby just seemed like a player that understands now how to be aggressive. That seems like he's playing with a different level of confidence, right? And so that is what I think is going to propel Coby. We'll see. I think, like you said, Billy Donovan is going to start a different player at point guard, maybe every game this postseason, maybe the first couple of games, and then stick to one. But I do expect Javon Carter's probably going to start Thursday against the Denver Nuggets, just because Billy Donovan's going to want to take a look at what that looks like with the starters. He's talked about needing to find, the right combination and rhythm with guys. So expect to see that, but at least one game down, Coby White looks darn good, and you could definitely see how he's improved. Billy Donovan even talking about in his post game, talking about how Coby's added to his game every year, and so maybe we're getting to the point where we're going to see like optimal Coby, and if we see that, hey, I can't wait, bro.
Biggest difference I think that you have to look at as well is the fact that or I guess if there was a knock on, what we're seeing early on here, it makes a big difference when you don't have to guard Dame, right? Like, listen, there was no Giannis, there was no Dame, there was no Chris Middleton. You're not switching on players that you feel are elite players. But the things that I liked that I saw from Coby White, to me, is the fact that he was doing things that I think translate no matter who's on the floor. Coby has the speed no matter what. Coby gets downhill with the speed. He kicks it out to an open Zach LaVine in the corner, or an open Pat Will on the wing. Those are things that'll translate no matter what, right? I really did kind of forget how fast Coby White is until I saw him. I believe he took, I want to say either Marjon Beauchamp or Ty Washington. One of them. He took him off the dribble because they end up getting switched on to him. And then he instantly kicked it out to Zach LaVine for a wide open three. And I was like, you know what? While Damian Lillard probably has you in a different position on the other end of the court defensively, it changes how you can come out and play offensively. That is something that can remain. And I think the other thing you kind of forget about Coby is Coby White's 6'5". He's not as small as he looks when he's standing next to the rest of the team, right? So the fact that he's coming out of there with 6 rebounds on today's game, I thought we saw some really good things from Coby White. I'm excited to see if he can kind of hold on to this, because right now I think it's his job to lose. I think the team wants it to be his job to lose, even with how you hear them talk in the all access joints that they've been doing on YouTube and different things like that. Yeah, for no reason, right? It's just like, yeah, we're doing this. And Coby White, I mean, you gotta love Coby White, right? Like, if we're talking about Coby, you gotta love Coby. Like, they continue to talk about Coby in that manner. And so I believe that they really want to utilize Coby as much as possible. And I think that right now, as it stands, it's his job to lose.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's kind of what you want to see. Like Javon Carter, solid, and like I said, I thought that and expected him to kind of be the starting point guard coming in. But if Coby continues to flash this, then that is what it is. It doesn't mean that it can't change and things like that. But you gotta let guys win positions, right? You gotta let guys go out there and compete for it. And Coby, since the end of last season, we're talking about his season-ending pressure. He talked about the importance of him wanting to start and wanting to show that he's a starter now in this league. And at least for one preseason game so far, he's come out and not just talked about it, but he backed it up with his level of play. And I don't know who's going to be mad at that. And hopefully it continues for Coby. We've seen what confidence does for players, is being at a different level with your confidence, how that can help you, right? And Billy Donovan, for what it's worth, has always given Coby a big role on this team, has always allowed Coby to go out there and get his shots up when Coby was just that guy to come in and get up shots. And he's allowed that growth in his game to come out and show, and for it to earn him a different role on this team. So,
yeah. And the biggest thing for me right now is with Coby White. Coby talked about it, consistency.
Yeah.
You have enough on the field right now where you can talk about what you can be consistent at, right? Or on the court, I should say, on the field. It's a lot of football in our lives right now. On the court right now, you have a lot on the court right now that you could talk about being consistent at, and it doesn't have to just be scoring. Yes, he put up 14 points today, but if he doesn't put up 14 points, I still want to see what you do defensively. I still want to see how you go out there and rebound the basketball. How are you pushing the ball down the court? 6 assists on a day. Can you give me that on a day-in, day-out basis? If you're the starting point guard, consistency goes deeper than just points.
Facts. That's a point well said on that one. And next up, we're going to talk about another player that, at least for one game is backed up kind of the talk that he had in the offseason, and that was Patrick Williams. But before we do that, I got to talk to you guys about one of our sponsors, and that is Gametime. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views for your seat, and the best price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front, so you know what you're getting. A great deal without hidden fees. Buy tickets in seconds in just 2 taps. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, Pat. Got to talk about the other Pat, Patrick Williams, man. Talked a big game, like you talked about on the show as well, wanting to be a bigger part of the offense, said that he's going to show the world something, man. And at least in this game, I will say, and I'll take this one away first, like Patrick Williams looked extremely more aggressive, more decisive out there. He did have one play where it's like old passive piece showed up. But other than that, he came out 9 shots, right? Most of those coming in the first half. He didn't play very much in the second half of the game, but 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block from Patrick Williams in this game. How you feel about the game for Patrick Williams?
I like what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again. That's really how I feel, because guess what? I've seen people have a game, right? And I love what I'm seeing from P. Will. I like the aggressiveness. I like the willingness to take a shot while other people are on the floor who are important. But the reason that I talked about P. Will wanting to be more involved in the offense and P. Will wanting to be, more of a guy who gets opportunities to take shots. And I looked at it and was like, well, you need to come off of the bench because there's Zach, there's DeMar, there's Vooch. How many opportunities are you going to have? This is probably the opportunities you're going to get to showcase, okay, I'm taking that next step. I like that he took it. He took it into his own hand. And realistically, guess what? 4 for 9 from the field, missed the dunk on Rolo. That would have been absolutely disgusting. You got to finish that. But P will be taking off from like heaven to try and dunk on Rolo. Like try and dunk on centers, bro. Like I'll be like, just take one more step and you're probably killing these dudes. But I love that he did that. The thing that stands out for me, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line, 50%. You give me that every night, I'm not going to have any complaints with you. I especially with the aggression we saw. P. Will was pulling the tray ball. He was like, I'm taking these shots. These are the shots that they're going to give me. He was pulling the deep ball. I mean, like not just a 3-pointer, but like 5 feet behind the 3-point line. Like I thought that he came out much more aggressive. I like the mindset, but you give me 1 assist, 2 rebounds. I need more on the offensive side from you. Now, I love the defense, but you know what I mean? Like 2 rebounds, 1 assist, you're supposed to be my starting power forward. You got to be giving me 17 to 18 points a game if that's what I'm going to get from you night in, night out.
I mean, I get why you have that point on. And I think ultimately when it comes to Patrick Williams, the aggressive mindset is the thing that is the most important in that to me, because you could be somebody all day that can take 3-point shots out there and just sit out there. But like the Patrick Williams that we saw today, I think that once teams do adjust and say, hey, no, this dude's actually shooting. He's not hesitating no more. We got to run out there on 3. The way that he looked today, that's a player that I think will actually adjust and then say, bet, I'm about to try to take you off the dribble. Yeah. Last season, I wouldn't say that. Patrick Williams shot the 3 great, but if a team got up on him and got out there and dared him to shoot the 3-pointer, he almost didn't do anything else. I want him to, like, the aggressiveness that I saw from him today makes me think, oh no, he's going to be a player that's going to put it on the floor. He's going to try to get to the free throw line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line today. Get to that line, use that speed and strength that you have, and like you said, you can take off from anywhere. Patrick Williams just has so much raw talent that we've talked about for so long. He just it's good to see it at least come out a little bit. Like you said, it's one game. We got to see it consistently. We got to see it in the season, because all this doesn't mean nothing if the lights are on and we go back to passive P.
There's only one thing I saw today that made me think that the mindset change might be real. There's one play defensively. He runs through Bobby Portis. Ran through him, right? Bobby Portis is on the floor, puts his hand up. Patrick Williams walked away. That tells me there's an aggressive mindset that may be blossoming. Because here's the thing. I've seen P. Will try to dunk on people and miss. Right? Like that's how he broke his wrist, right? Second year versus Isaiah Stewart, right? Like I've seen
it was Mitchell Robinson, wasn't it?
I thought it was Isaiah Stewart. Wasn't that in Detroit? Wasn't that a Detroit game?
No,
maybe it was the Knicks. Maybe it's Knicks. Maybe I'll take your word on that. Right. But I've seen that player. I've seen the guy that goes off and shoots the 3-ball well. I've seen the guy, but what I haven't seen is the guy that literally, and I mean, this is a preseason game, looks at an opponent and says, "You're not on my team." And I think that tells me more about maybe a mindset change coming than anything we saw. Yes, he was more aggressive shooting the basketball, but like he shot the shot that we said he should have been shooting all last season, right? Like he shot the shot that was most efficient for him. He went 4 for 9. That means he took 2 shots or 3 shots not from the 3-point line. I want to see that continue to grow. But seeing him, like, I mean, he put his hand up. DeMar picked him up. DeMar picked up Bobby Portis. P. Will walked to the right. And I was like, oh, like that's small. It's something small, but it's something last year P. Will would have been like, excuse me, sir, let me get you off the ground. I didn't mean to run you over there. My good man, let me dust you off as your, all right. Now go on your merry way and drop 20 on us. Like, I like that. maybe that's a little meathead to shove me, but I like that.
I mean, we can get a little meathead around here from time to time. It is what it is. We're Chicago Bulls fans. Was that a pause? This is a pause. Okay, pause.
Yo.
Hey, listen. It is what it is. I didn't say we show a little meathead around here. I said we can get a little meathead. Basically, what I'm telling y'all is Pat has a lot of meat on the brain from time to time.
Whoa! Don't be trying to twist that on me, dog. Hey, yo. Basketball's back, but it's still preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still having a good time on this month. Now, realistically, though, here's the thing, right? 22 minutes, 13 points, 4 for 9 from the field. What's the one thing that you want to see that we saw today blossom even more?
From P. Will?
From P. Will, yes.
I would say attack the rim a little bit more. We can go over the raw numbers all day. But I want to see him attack the rim and show like, okay, bet. Like you want to make defenders think, because if they could just close out on you on 3, and they don't worry about you trying to yam it on their heads, then it could there's something there. It makes it more simple to defend you. So I want people to be able to get to that rim.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm with you. I thought that there were a couple of times where he took off, and I was just like, okay, this is the P. Will that we've been waiting for. The tough part is, right, you have to balance out, right? Like he was drafted, 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's 4
seasons. This is 4th season. He was drafted 4 years ago, but also what is he going to learn this season that could change so much about the perception of him? And listen, if he continues to do this, like I say, it's a lot easier to do when there's no Giannis standing on the other side of you.
That is very true.
If he continues to do this, like last time they played Milwaukee, I believe he might have been the only player on the court. And because I think Zach was out, DeMar was out, and I want to say Vooch played, but it was one of those games we was like, P. Will got to show us something here. Like, you have to play this game. This is your game to shine. And I think he might have had 8 points. Seeing today, I get it. It's preseason. There's not a ton you can take from it, right? But at the end of the day, seeing him basically go, oh, you're not Giannis standing in front of me. I'm going to go through you. That told me just a little something. Now, again, I got to see it again. I'm still the person that's like, P. Will is never going to live up to being what the 4th pick in the draft is. But prove me wrong. I always want to hear him prove me wrong.
We'll see. I mean, I don't really think it's that hard to live up to fourth overall picks. Don't really do a lot typically. So we'll see with that. But we want P. Will to be better than what he's been. That's for damn sure.
Mean, listen, be better than Tyrese Halliburton.
No, that's never gonna happen.
Be better.
If we get to the point where Patrick Williams is better than Tyrese Halliburton, bro, I got to see so many Bulls fans walk back so much of what they said, bro.
Hey, I'm gonna be the first one. Be better. Be better than dudes that were taken after you. That's all I say about. That's all I'm looking for in life out here, man. But hey, before we get to this final topic, because listen, there's a lot that it feels like there's a lot that has changed on this Bulls team at this point. We do want to tell you guys about Jase Medical. I think here's the thing. The Jase case is providing so much for you. 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use. All it takes to get a Jase case is fill out a simple online form. In some cases, jump on a quick call with one of our board-certified physicians. Get ongoing care from their physicians on any treatment-related question doctor created, doctors recommend. The biggest thing is don't get caught unprepared. Everyone should be empowered to care for themselves, their loved ones during the unexpected. Jase handles everything from online evaluation to licensed pharmacy medication, delivery, and ongoing consultation care. That's what it is all about. You can get $20 off on these life-saving antibiotics today from Jase Medical by using the code Locked On at checkout on jasemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com.
All right, Pat. With that said, let's get into the last topic for the day. So, every offseason, every media day, we hear about changes and things like that. And me and you listen to this media day. We watched it. We broke it down. And a couple of the things that Billy Donovan said he wanted to change. He wanted the Bulls to take more threes. He wanted us to play with a higher pace. He wanted us to move the ball around more. I would say to varying degrees of success, but we got to see all these things happen in this game. 31 or 32 3-pointers, I think. Yep. Also, offensive rebounds is another thing. Right now, we for first day of preseason, second most offensive rebounds in the NBA of the teams that play today. Do you think that there was meaningful enough change to see the style of play, not necessarily the success because they didn't shoot the ball overly well, but the style of play that the Bulls showed in that first half?
Well, I think the tough part is, right, like the first half is kind of really what you have to go on with a lot of the stats. Bulls was 7 for 19 from the field, I believe. I don't know why my stats acting goofy right now, but Bulls 7 for 15 from the field there. So shot the ball fairly efficient in the first half. I thought the defense was pretty good while the starters were out there. I thought that they moved the ball relatively well, and I thought that they came in with what looked like a modern NBA offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the number one thing that I have, because how many times last year were we just like, wow, this looks like 2004. They're running a 2003 offense in 2023. That is not the answer. That's not how we're going to be able to get this thing to work. That's not how it's all going to go. But like the fact that they took 35 3-pointers is great, but realistically, I'm looking at this Bulls team shooting at 37% from the field in the first half. Or from the 3-point line in the first half, and saying, okay, they're understanding what Javon Carter and Torrey Craig said, because there was so much of, is that a great shot? Maybe in a preseason moment right here, but it's an open shot and you took that shot. And the fact that you took that shot shows the threat that you're willing to take that shot. And we didn't see that enough last season, just based on even Torrey Craig and Javonte Green both coming in separate press conferences, literally going, how do you defend these guys? You let them shoot because they're not gonna. I thought that was the biggest change.
Well, a lot more shots. I will say that there was a little bit too much passing the ball around. Sometimes it seems like you can tell that their mandate coming into the season was really let's move the ball around as much to get the right shot. But it was some tough some turnovers there that were caused by the Bulls by kind of overpassing, where they passed it a couple of times too many than what they needed to do on a possession. But overall, right now, as they're trying to work out the kinks, I'd much rather than be moving the ball around too much and come down than not moving the ball enough and then trying to start doing that a little bit more. So moving to get the right shots out there, spreading the ball around, it not being, I don't think I saw more than maybe 2 isolation plays that whole first half as well. And that's, good things.
Well, I think that speaks to kind of the first conversation we had about Coby White, right? Like how Coby was moving the ball, how he was attacking downfield and getting guys open. I think we saw a little bit of what Vooch was talking about, where let me operate out of the post while he's down low, kicks it out to P. Will a couple of times on the wing. P. Will able to knock down that shot. I thought that those were things that translate to a regular NBA game, whether Giannis is in that game or not, right? Like that's kind of what I was looking for in this game. There weren't a million plays that I could sit there and be like, I'm so confident the Bulls are going to win 55 games this season. But there were certain moments where I was like, this offense is successful even if Giannis is on the floor, even if Chris Middleton is on the floor. And that was the biggest thing to take away from, because those are the guys that you're literally going to be looking at as probably the top of the Eastern Conference this season. Giannis, Middleton, Dame, of course, right? Everything Boston has going on with their team over there. Maybe Philly, right? Like that's your top competition. Like the Knicks are a solid defensive team, but we kind of played the Knicks pretty well last season. But it's those moments where I look at and I'm like, okay, how do we do this versus them? Can we get this done versus this team, this level of team? And I think what the Bulls' changes have been, especially offensively, you can get done. Now, defensively, I need to see a little bit more. I thought that there were too many moments where, of course, right, the pick and roll will destroy us almost every time we run it. But I thought there were a lot of moments where the defense lacked. And I thought that was preseason. And Billy Donovan called timeout in those moments and literally went, hey, I know it's preseason, guys, but like, come on, let's try and use this as a walkthrough. So need to see a little bit more on the defensive end of the basketball as well. But I mean, listen, they gave up 105 points today, so I'm not going to sit here and kill you out the entire time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that second half was kind of brutal. Before we go, though, like
terrible.
Mostly the young players, the Windy City Bulls players. That's what we saw most out there the second half. Did any of the young players stand out to you in a positive way?
I was gonna say because Dalen Terry did not, which is very concerning for me. I get it; he's the 18th overall pick, but like thought he'd have a little bit more. Adama Sanago stood out to me. That's my guy. That's the guy I've kind of like really noticed and that I've been like, I think that he might be able to play at the next level. I thought that he was literally just like, there's no flash to my game. I'm a pump fake. You're gonna jump. I'm gonna make a layup. Like that's like I saw him. What did he do that for? 4 buckets today? Like I actually was a little bit impressed by Adama Sanago. You know what though? There were certain plays. I don't know if there was anybody whose total game stood out. When Justin Phillips got the dunk, I thought that it was a really intelligent play on his part to just know I need to cut here because my guy's on the floor. And Io just found him, and he yammed the ball down. And he seems like a guy that plays really hard. And then, I don't know, like Quentin Jackson got that dunk, but at the same time, he also made 2 plays in a row that literally sold the Bulls down the river.
Exactly, because especially that last play that he went to when he tried to get to the rim.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Like
they should have ran the 3 for Ernie Lott Bidham, because I tell you what, that dude got a trigger. Like his 3-point shot is legit.
Ernie Lott got a nice shot.
Like, now I will say this: we didn't see him take anybody off the dribble, and his defense, he got cooked off the dribble a couple of times. Is why you got to adjust to the NBA game. Yeah. But that shot, that 3-point shot, was quick. He was well behind the 3-point line. I know there are some people that are like, well, he was able to shoot the 3 ball decently from Euro 3-pointer, but what about the NBA 3-pointer? He came out there right away. You could tell that man's going to be able to shoot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Here's the wild part. The biggest part about Unerlop, it's Bateen. Heard that from Adam Amin today. Bateen? Unerlop Bateen. And I'm going to trust Adam. I think Adam's, he's usually got. By the way, Adam is a workaholic. Shout out to him. He called the Bulls game, right? I wasn't tweaking.
Yeah, Stacey King was out because of
Stacey was out, but Adam was there, right?
Yeah.
Adam Amin right now is calling the Stros game in Houston.
Shout out to Adam.
Shout out to Adam. Workaholic out here. I love it, bro. Put that work in. But yeah, outside of that, I thought I'm not gonna lie, the dunk was fun. Quentin Jackson should be cut tomorrow. And then Ornerlop I liked. Is there any other young guys? Adama, Terry Taylor, like he kind of is as advertised, right? Like he just was like, I'm in here, I rebound the basketball, I'm out of here. Like
he did get 6 points as well. But yeah, I mean, listen, Terry Taylor, I could definitely see him finding a role for himself.
Terry Taylor got 6 points?
No, I'm sorry. Terry Taylor got 2 points. What the heck am I looking? He got 4 rebounds, 2 assists. And I was about to say, wait a second. Julian, I'll tell you what, Julian, he get active, but he got to be able to finish at the rim, bro. You can't just jump, man.
Julian, the biggest thing for me with Julian was he showed up in the game for like literally 4 seconds and then immediately committed a foul. I was like, all right, bro, like let's balance it all out. I'm not making any huge predictions. Listen, there's certain guys we know aren't going to be on this team, right? Quentin Jackson's not going to be here. Henry Drell's going to the G League. Hedinger's going to the G League. Bateem maybe is on this team. Lewis is probably going to the G League. Sanago G League, Terry, Taylor G League. Maybe Carlick makes it. Does Carlick make it?
Carlick has an actual NBA contract.
So he might make it. But outside of that, like I'm gonna be honest with you, what I saw from Dalen Terry was disappointing. Like
Dalen's still very raw.
But what is the goal for you to become?
Well, he's so raw that I think right now they're trying to make it open, but I think also that he can do a little bit of everything, but you got to find something that you can hang your hat on. And right now, I mean, energy can't just be that. It can't just be that.
Yeah, you have to be more than just energy when you're. I mean, what is Dalen? 6'6", 6'7"?
Something like
right.
That.
Like I like it, but it's also got to be energy with like. Give me a Javonte Green. Give me energy with defense. Like I'd love it if he was like this elite defender. He'd be getting cooked on defense too. Like, especially in the second half versus dudes that you're supposed to be better than. At this point, I should say, you've been in the league 2 years. You playing. Oh no, he's been in the league. He's been in the league. Year, this is his second year, right? Yeah. And MarJon Beauchamp was cooking you.
Boy, listen, MarJon Beauchamp was absolutely out. Like, hey,
I'm not gonna lie. He might need to be the starting 2 there. I said this on my live. I was like, talked about
Dame. He gave big hype to MarJon Beauchamp and his importance that he's going to play for the Milwaukee Bucks, and we'll see, man. Because hey, he looks like he may be ready.
He might need to start. Because here's the thing, right? Like, you got Malik Beasley and you got Pat Connaughton, and you kind of just hope MarJon becomes both of them put together at 6'7" with a crazy wingspan.
True, but I could see them wanting to bring MarJon for his youth and stuff and his ability to play multiple positions off the bench.
Yeah,
they can go with the more, at least they'll know what they're getting for sure
I can
from Malik
see
Beasley.
I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Malik or Pat Connaughton started ahead of him. But when you got this lineup and you can allow mistakes to happen, I might see what MarJon got. But that's just me. But hey, follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate y'all for showing love.
Follow me at CEO Haize, the CEO Haize. Want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls. Me and Pat will be back tomorrow, breaking down anything else going on with the Chicago Bulls, man. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. It's been Locked On Bulls. We out here. Peace, y'all.
Peace.